alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony with Doris Burke on our sideline. The fans here in Detroit ready to cheer on their Pistons in this interconference matchup. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So for New Orleans right now, the shot blocking pair of Davis and Ashik inside. Evans and Gordon are the guard set, and it's Pondexter in at the three. First free throw is good. Well, last season the Pistons didn't reach the playoffs for the 6th consecutive season. They're making progress, but as we can all see, still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you know, they were spoiled for a while there. How about going to the playoffs for 1996 to 2009? So it's been a rough stretch here of late, but you get the feeling that the building blocks are in place for another push.
Here are the Pistons with the ball. Pass to Baines. Outside Jackson. Drummond a screen. 4 on the clock. Shot from 12. And the basket by Jackson.
You have to be disciplined on defense, Kevin. Biting on every pump fake isn't going to get it done.
Here's Evans. Offline with his three. Now Detroit moving it up. Drummond is just to Jackson. Back to Drummond. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson.
And you're not going to pass up that kind of
Evans outside. Davis setting the pick for Evans. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And with the way the Warriors went on a rampage last year, you knew that Alvin Gentry would be in demand. Was the architect behind the Warriors offense, is one of the best offensive minds in our league.
Now with Gentry, his offensive prowess can't be understated, Greg. His peers joke and say he can draw up an open look for a corpse. I don't know about that, Clark, but we know he's talented. He's got a great offensive mind.
And you know that's right. And with this Pelicans team, he has plenty of firepower to work with, too.
Oh, he does. You're right. Here's Evans following the bucket by the Pistons. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Aaron Baines. That is his first foul of the game.
That's his first personal foul.
Here's Gordon. And Davis with the basket on the assist by Eric Gordon.
Yes.
Yes, strong move to the basket there. Nice power to get that up and in.
Jackson kicks to Johnson. Pass to Morris. Jackson in the corner. Drummond a screen. He's clobbered. He'll get 3 shots at the line. Last year, the Pelicans, Greg, pushed their way into the postseason. It was a neck-and-neck battle for that number 8 spot, as you recall, with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And how about the excitement down the stretch? They were able to edge out the Thunder and Russell Westbrook on that just point binge down the stretch there. And what a final day that was. A big, huge win over the Spurs. Let them get into the postseason for the first time under the Pelican moniker.
New Orleans making a switch here. Cole's checked in.
And as you said, I mean, New Orleans made the playoffs for the first time under the name Pelicans. Unfortunately for them, they ran into the Warriors in the first round and were promptly swept away.
And thinking back to the Pelicans playoffs from last year, let a 20-point lead slip away in that 4th quarter of Game 3. But they played better than a sweep and got valuable postseason experience for that young roster. And I like how he puts himself in position there to finish on the break.
Yeah, you know, that's what we call seeing and feeling the game. Excellent read of how that play was going to develop and where the ball was going. That's stuff that you oftentimes can't teach, Greg.
Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for Johnson. Alexis Ajinça has checked in for New Orleans. Cunningham comes in for Quincy Pondexter. That first time out of the game called for New Orleans. Just a bit of an up and down year for the Pistons last season. Had some long winning streaks and some long losing streaks for first-year head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah, Kevin, some would say it was addition by subtraction because they really went on that big run after they released Josh Smith. 7 straight wins for them at one point, and they also did have some giant loss.
For the Pistons, Ilyasova, he's checked in for Andre Drummond. Blake comes in for Reggie Jackson. And it's Jennings in for Aaron Baines. Here's Gordon. Out to the wing. Here's the screen. On Dexter. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
And guys, that's one of the more basic plays in anybody's playbook, but not to mention also truly one of the best.
And Greg, the pick frees him up, and Clark, the dunk, caps it off.
Well, you know, for me, guys, it's all about positioning and anticipation on those screen plays, and they got it right there.
Now here's Jennings after Eric Gordon's miss. And a fast break now for the Pelicans.
That's how you make it happen, guys. Ball pressure and then a run on.
And that's how you flip the script in terms of momentum right there.
Now Jennings. There's the pick. Out left to the wing. Here's Ilyasova. And that one's good.
They got themselves in front with some outstanding shooting right off the bat.
It's been a complete technical dominant performance out here. They are in a zone.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. New Orleans is still a relatively young team, but they play with the maturity, I think, Clark, that's beyond their years.
You know, Kevin, the average age for them last year was just over 25 years old, and the youngest team in the West, actually, to make it to the playoffs last year.
Dinwiddie is checked in for Detroit. Davis is checked in for New Orleans. Here's Holiday. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change.
And for the Pelicans, part of why they look so mature is how they protect leads. I mean, rarely giving away points for free and knowing how to close out games. And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it, too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
Gordon, the pass to Holiday. Lots of room. And the basket by Gordon. Gordon's got his second bucket of the game to go.
I mean, even he was surprised to be that open.
5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. They set the screen. Dinwiddie kicks to Morris. And Davis sends it back. Takes it up with both hands and rips it down.
Solid work on the back end of that play.
Yeah, finished hard with two hands on the stuff.
Yeah, nothing extravagant, guys, but again, no need on that one.
No shortage of scoring here at the end of the first quarter. Pistons lead by 4. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. All right, well, look at how the hustle game has been going for the Pistons.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And also, they're jumping on a lot of turnovers, making sure they turn them into points at the other end.
So for New Orleans right now, Davis and Ashik in the middle. Tyreek Evans out there with Norris Cole. And it's Cunningham in at the 3. That shot by Caldwell Pope, no good.
Well, we know prior to last season, the Pistons handed the car keys over to Stan Van Gundy. He had some early hiccups, but overall, I think they're headed in the right direction. He's a proven winning coach in the NBA.
And Meeks kicks to Drummond. Great pass to set up the lay-in.
You know, that's been a big part of their offense in the early stages. I mean, their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range, right at the rim.
And Clark, they might as well keep doing it. I mean, attack the basket until the defense makes an adjustment.
Now, here's Meeks. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. That one on Davis. Fans had a hard time finding their way to the stadium last season for the Pistons at the bottom in several home attendance categories last year.
Yeah, that's right in Auburn Hills.
I know.
I mean, they used to go a lot when they were winning championships. But to be fair to those fans, it was hard at times to watch the Pistons play. I mean, they could get cold and really struggle on their home floor.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Johnson comes in for Caldwell Pope, and it's Jackson in for Ilyasova. Detroit leading by 7. A shot by Johnson, no good.
And for the Pistons, a lot of their woes here at home were due to defense. I mean, their 18-23 home record comes from allowing too many good looks for their opponents.
Jackson dishes to Drummond. Now, here's Meeks. Covered by Evans. Shot clock at 6. Meeks pass to Drummond. Can't get it to go. And New Orleans will go the other way with it.
And the Pistons, how about starting out 2-13 at home? I mean, they did turn it around afterwards, going 16-10 to finish out the season. At least they seem to be headed in the right direction.
Alexis Ajinça has checked in for Omer Ashik.
So take a look at the rankings. Let's see where Detroit ended up last season. 3rd in second chance points, 4th in rebounding, and they were top 10 in fewest team turnovers. This team has a number of players that take care of the ball and value every possession.
And just go revisit those numbers in terms of second chance points. That was elite, and they weren't shy about sticking their nose in there and going after the ball.
Morris is checked in for Jody Meeks. Well, last year the Pelicans were a team on the rise, making the playoffs. A solid season overall, especially on the road. Really, they sent notice by what they did away from New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, 17 road wins. I mean, you say to yourself, well, that doesn't sound great. But when you're a young, up-and-coming team, one of the things that you can really value is your ability to go into hostile environments and have success. They're going to be building on that confidence.
Pistons leading by 3. Morris a screen. Johnson kicks to Jackson. That's good. Jackson's got 9 points.
You know what? That's what you like to see. A perfect pass leading him right into the shot. Didn't even have to break stride.
Cole dishes to Ajinça. Goes back up. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. New Orleans shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. And that one misses.
And last season, the Pelicans made it into the playoffs. I mean, could have had an easier road to get there if they were stronger against the Eastern Conference.
Catching up on the changes for New Orleans. Luke Babbitt, he's checked in for Anderson. Pondexter comes in for Cunningham. And Gordon subbed in for Tyreek Evans. That's good. Now it's a 7-point Piston lead.
I love the ball movement there. He put that on a silver platter. Just served him up.
And the Pelicans were solid against the East, Clark, 16 and 14. But as Greg was just saying, a lot of games left on the table for them.
Well, they had the lowest win total against the East of any Western playoff team. Really, the Pelicans were lucky to get in, given how many games they gave away against the East.
And the basket by Johnson.
Some defensive breakdowns are starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
Yeah, high percentage shots are what they are getting in terms of the attempts, and that's just not going to get it done. They've got to figure it out.
And Detroit has possession. The Pelicans make their last shot.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
Yeah, and when he's got a lead like that, why not take a few chances? A lot more engaging and entertaining than just doing the old ho-hum one-handed.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. Different look here for the Pistons. Ilyasova, he's checked in for Andre Drummond. Reggie Bullock comes in for Johnson. Steve Blake's checked in for Reggie Jackson. And it's Jennings in for Aaron Baines. And then for New Orleans, Davis comes in for Alexis Aginson. And it's Drew Holiday in for Norris Cole. Holiday with the 3. And that is good. Holiday's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. So for the Pistons, their last game a loss to the Brooklyn Nets. And Ilyasova kicks to Bullock. The shot, no good. Great D that time from Davis. That one's good, and the Piston lead is cut down to 4 on the bucket from Eric Gordon.
Really good example there of some fine interior passing before that basket.
And we're through the first half of basketball here, and what's been a good one. It's Detroit up by 4. We're going to step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after our halftime. We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. Andre Drummond has been sensational.
Yeah, he's played just a smart game overall offensively, looking for and finding the gaps in the defense, and also terrific shot selection.
Greg, that's exactly what we're talking about when we talk about being efficient as an offensive player. Fully on display there with him.
The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game. Andre Drummond has been sensational.
Yeah, how about that first half? He's already scored more points than he averages on the season.
Yeah, he's on pace for a monster game. It's too bad he can't score like this every night.
Johnson is out there with Marcus Morris. Then there's Andre Drummond. Then there's Jackson. And it's Baines in the 1. That's the group starting the second half for Stan Van Gundy. Detroit leading by 6. The feed to Drummond. Nice ball movement by Detroit.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And, you know, that lead's only going to grow if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly than that.
The Pelicans shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here.
And they were 75% from the line a season ago. Probably as close to a sure thing as you can have at the free throw line.
Now here's Jackson. 9 points in the game so far. Johnson kicks to Drummond. Johnson the screen. Here's Jackson. And Detroit again with the bucket.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
10 straight points off assists. That's very impressive, and it also makes the game easy and fun to watch.
Now here's Johnson.
You're always going to have people who don't believe that you're really good at what you do, you know, and that's probably more so because they haven't figured out how to be good at what they know or don't even know how to do, you know. So, you know, that's just what it is. You know, every level you reach, you're going to come against obstacles, and you have to combat those obstacles in order to move forward. It's almost like you're playing a video game, you know what I mean? And then the prize is your sanity. Word.
Ha. Come on with it. Come on with it. Come on with it. Ha, 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 ha. Come on with it. With it. Come on with it. With it.
Me and you getting it on, don't even go there.
Come on with it.
Once I bring it to you, you won't be safe nowhere.
More levels, more devils. Diesel, airing out the stage like a Neville. Brother, leave you. Dot on your face for no good reason at all. We in a bad place. Ha, ha. Hip hop is separated by the nice and the nice not. Underground and I'm ice hot. What rap my age to keep the mic hot? Ha, ha. Couple hip hop butter beans. Big sluggers move with me, it's a gutter team. I love women who know the boom from the back. OG still could fill a room when he rap. Mike Blessing in a recession is food giving back to occupy labels that move, didn't wax now. Here come Bumpy on a primo track to represent hip hop from where we go back. Crap.
Come on with it.
Me and you getting it on, don't even go there.
Come on with it.
Cause you know what we got to do.
Come on with it.
Me and you getting it on, don't even go there.
Come on with it.
Once I bring it to you, you won't be safe nowhere.
I let the beat keep breathing while I spit life to you heathens. You in the wrong place, to be real, reasons. I usually don't spit corny styles like that cause I'm too seasoned.
Now let's get it all in perspective.
They've got a capacity crowd here at the United Center. Well, we can finally say it. The NBA regular season is about to get underway. And here at 2K Sports, we couldn't be happier. Along with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. We've got an Eastern Conference battle ready to get rolling, and the Chicago crowd wants some love from their Bulls. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the floor for Detroit, we've got Johnson. Andre Drummond is up there with Marcus Morris. Then there's Reggie Jackson. And it's Dinwiddie in at the point. Detroit had a hard time making shots consistently last season. Clark, not a good shooting team from the floor. And, of course, that's in this league, it's going to kill you.
Yeah, it really will. I mean, at one point last year, Kevin, 3 of their 5 starters were in the bottom 10 in terms of players' field goal percentage. Hard to win any game that way.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
Yeah, but in this case, I think he got it right. I mean, the defender was still moving there and never really had good legal guarding position. He wasn't set.
with the ball. On its way from Rose for 2. And a miss there off the inbound. Well, for Detroit, their last game a loss to the Brooklyn Nets. Here's Morris. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. The Pistons shooting their first free throw this game.
And as a unit, guys, they only shot 70% from the line over the course of last season. Not the kind of percentage that they were hoping for.
Yeah, as a group, really a dismal year for them from the line last season, guys.
And really, the Bulls weathered a lot of injuries last season and still had a good showing in the East. Came away with the 3 seed when many thought they would sink down after missing so many games from key players.
Rose dishes to Noah. And it's thrown down hard with both hands.
Make it 2 hands for safety. That's what they say, right, Kevin?
Yeah, that's right. You got it. And he was ultra safe with that dunk.
No reason not to be.
And guys, as he should be. Remove all doubt on that attack.
And Drummond kicks to Johnson. No good. Some solid defense from Butler. And the Bulls did end up with the 3rd seed in the East. 33 of their 50 wins last year, Clark, coming in the Eastern Conference.
But it wasn't an even distribution of those wins for the Bulls. Against their own division in the Southeast, they played .500 basketball. They got their good in-conference record from feasting on the Atlantic teams, taking 16 wins in 18 games against that division.
Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for Spencer Dinwiddie.
And injuries, once again, were a central theme of the Bulls' season last year. Losing Rose was one thing, but then having Jimmy Butler lose a lot of time put them in such a tough spot.
Caldwell Pope passes to Morris. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. The first quarter of action, 2 minutes in. Just 5 to shoot. The Pistons need to get off a shot here. That shot by Caldwell Pope, no good. And for the Bulls and injuries, a lot of teams plan for these type of things. There's only so much Clark you can do to mitigate losing your starting backcourt.
But I tell you, great respect and admiration for the Bulls for how they fought through the difficulty. I mean, their front court did what they could. The injuries, once again, I thought turned the Bulls from championship contenders to just a playoff team.
Johnson kicks to Jackson. That's in, coming off an assist from Johnson.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
It's like a running game in football. When you can pound the basketball inside, it also allows you to control the team's transition.
Good, just like soup. A little more ferocious, though.
Okay, Clark approves, everybody.
Yeah, but that's how you finish strong. Young fellas wearing the rim out.
Now, here is Morris. Deflects the pass. Fast break, here we go. Here's Butler. Good D by Johnson.
Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions there.
Drummond dishes to Johnson. Drummond a screen. Here's Caldwell Pope. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game.
And this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark.
And finished off by Rose.
You've really got to be exactly on the same page to connect on that long alley-oop.
And even then, it's a tough play.
I tell you what, the pass and the catch were both next to impossible.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here.
Well, we know prior to last season, the Pistons handed the car keys over to Stan Van Gundy. He had some early hiccups, but overall, I think they're headed in the right direction. He's a proven winning coach in the NBA.
So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group. Taj Gibson's checked in for Gasol. Mirotic comes in for Dunleavy. Kirk Heinrich, he's checked in for Butler. And Brooks subbed in for Rose. Detroit also making some changes. Ilyasova, he's checked in for Drummond. Reggie Bullock comes in for Johnson. And it's Jennings in for Jackson. Well, with Coach Stan Van Gundy, it was a very successful first year in Detroit. He's a guy who's going to build around defense. That's been his MO.
And Van Gundy has always been a defensive first type guy, Kevin. I mean, the last 30 years he's has probably the best defensive efficiency for a career as a coach, and his teams always play with great emphasis on that side of the ball.
Good. Bullock's got his first 2 points.
I love how he establishes his post position inside before he converts.
The shot by Heinrich, no good.
Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide open opportunities.
Ilyasova screen on Brooks. That's good from Ilyasova on the assist from Brandon Jennings.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
And the foul called on Marcus Morris. That's his first foul.
First personal foul.
Here's Mirotic. Nice form on the 20-footer.
Ooh, that is a tough shot.
And here's Jennings. Up in time. No good on the buzzer beater. And that does it for the first quarter. Bulls lead by 4. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. Looking at what we've seen from the Bulls, what do you guys think?
It's been about the effort. Love the hustle they've shown here in the first.
Yeah, it's due to their hustle, as you said, Greg, and it's showing up on the scoreboard, too.
Pistons trailed by 4. And Detroit looking at who they've got. Aaron Baines out there with Johnson. Then it's Jody Meeks. Then there's Andre Drummond. And it's Dinwiddie in at the 1 spot. Gasol with the rebound.
You rarely see him missing dunks, but the defender was right in his face on that one, and it threw him off just enough.
I tell you what, he has quite the act to follow, but Fred Hoiberg was a quick choice for the brass in Chicago. Signed that 5-year deal over the summer. Was easily one of the most in-demand coaches available.
And Chicago shooting at 50% in a decent groove. Brooks from outside. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. Brooks has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Quarter number 2 with just over a minute gone. Dinwiddie passes to Drummond. On the wing, Johnson. 6 to shoot. Here's Dinwiddie. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Clearly a foul.
Yeah, he took a shot there. Earned those free throws.
Hey, guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Bulls?
They've been making some really nice passes out there. Excellent passing. That could set the tone for the rest of the game.
Yeah, also something I like out of them so far, they're throwing their bodies around in the paint, and the physicality is taking its toll.
Butler. Here's Gasol. Good work defensively by Morris. Lets the three fly. Dinwiddie's shot is off. Chicago leading by 3. Here's Rose. And he goes up strong. With one hand and flushes it down.
And folks, he does more than just put 2 points onto their lead. He does it with a little bit of flair.
He sure does. You're right. It's a dazzling move to the bucket for him.
I'll tell you what, he may not be the biggest man in the league, guys, but he more than makes up for that lack of size with amazing aerial skills.
Here's Drummond. That's good. And it's Jackson with the assist that time.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Here's Johnson. The fast break ends at the rim with a jam.
That is such good work to make this a one-possession game. Terrific steal to get it all started.
And it's one thing to get the steal, but to so alertly turn it into a transition opportunity, even better.
They might be named after a car part, but the Pistons had a rough go of things on the road, Clark. They just had to use it. They just couldn't stay consistent away from home.
They couldn't. Only won 14 road games, and that number is not enough to get you to the playoffs.
You know what? Tried to step in and cut him off, but just didn't get there quick enough.
Yeah, he was one step late that time, Greg.
Some changes for Chicago. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Gasol. Mirotic comes in for Dunleavy. And it's Heinrich in for Rose. Ilyasova, he's checked in for Detroit. Caldwell Pope comes in for Johnson.
And guys, for the Pistons' bad road record, a lot of it was due to their poor start on the road. Only managed to win one of their first 9 games, and that tends to take the confidence away from a young team.
The Bulls leading by 3. Heinrich kicks to Gibson. Here's Noah. Makes it off the glass. Noah's got 8 points.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should continue to work the ball down low, Clark. It's really going to free up their outside shooting.
Now here's Drummond. Now the feed to Caldwell Pope. Down to 5 on the shot clock. It's deflected. Stolen by Noah. And here we go. The Bulls fast break. Gibson leading the charge. And he gets it to go as they call the foul. He's on his way to the line for one more.
That's good. How about the concentration? He gets hit but stays with the play and gets the finish.
Innovation and improvisation right there, Greg. Finding a way to get that shot to fall after taking the contact.
And the Bulls making a change here. Brooks checked in. And then for Detroit, Aaron Baines comes in for Drummond. And it's Jody Meeks in for Dinwiddie. It's Noah with the drive. .34 seconds left in the first half. Tries again. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
That's his first personal
You know, the last thing I'll say about the Pistons on the road, typically you have to be close to 500 on the road in order to make the playoffs. The Pistons won 7 in a row at one point on the road, but by then they had fallen too far back.
That one is no good. For a franchise that had so much success under his tenure, there was sure a lot of friction with Tom Thibodeau, and the Bulls front office surprised a lot of people, I know, including yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's not something that you see often, a winning coach at odds with his GM and president. With how often their differences came up, though, you knew something was afoot.
The Pistons have gone 3 for 3 at the line tonight. He hits both from the stripe.
Boy, they're really battling, guys. Not sitting back, being aggressive, attacking when they have the chance. I like that.
Man, I like their approach to the game right now. There's tremendous aggression on both ends, putting the onus on the officials.
Boy, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
That drops. And the Bulls lead by 6. And that one goes out of bounds. Nice touch by Noah.
They're fortunate that one was just deflected and not stolen. Dodged a bullet there.
Pau Gasol. Mike Dunleavy. Derrick Rose.
Here's Ilyasova. That will count. And the first half is now in the books. It's the Bulls. They lead by 6. And we'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit.
Okay, fans.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. We're seeing a tremendous game from Joakim Noah.
Yeah, how about that first half? He's already scored more points than he averages on the season.
Yeah, he's on pace for a monster game. It's too bad he can't score like this every night.
The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game. We're seeing a tremendous game from Joakim Noah.
And he's been a monster in this game, throwing down some huge dunks. And I wasn't sure the rim would even survive in that first half.
And the interior defense has to get tougher here in the second half. He's making them look really bad.
At the 4, it's Gasol with Noah at the 5. Other team to Dunleavy on the brim. And it's Rose in at point guard. And that's the group for Fred Hoiberg as we begin the second half.
Ooh, a forceful finish from the big fella.
Well, with a player for that size, you'd think he'd make the highlight reel more often.
Yeah, you know, he just appears to lack an edge at times in this game. I mean, he can be too passive and reluctant on the court.
Morris dishes to Jackson. And that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. That's his first foul.
And really just a great play to sacrifice his body and take the charge.
Heads up action there. Reading the play and then beating him to the spot. Well done.
And Detroit was a 32-50 record last season. They didn't have any help from the schedule. They had a total of 22 back-to-back series on the year, tied for most in the league.
He misses the free throw. Greg, you just said the Pistons had a ton of back-to-back games. 44 were part of their back-to-backs, over half their schedule. Clark, they went 15-29 in those games.
And that's part of the reason why the NBA wanted to examine the schedule. I mean, it was a tough year for the Pistons. It's hard to get any momentum when you're playing that many back-to-backs.
Morris, a screen. Jackson passes to Morris. Here's Dinwiddie. Oh, tried to dunk it home, but drew the foul, and it'll go to the line. That's on Joakim Noah.
And no doubt last season the Bulls were clearly preparing for the playoffs. They played their rookies but added a lot of playoff seasoned veterans to that roster.
And so he hits both. As you mentioned, the Bulls added veteran leaders last season. Pau Gasol was the notable one. 11 Bulls, Clark, had playoff experience prior to their postseason run the season ago.
And that's invaluable, Kevin, to have that kind of experience. I mean, having Gasol, a two-time champion in the locker room, big, as is having almost a dozen guys who understand the intensity and the details that playoff basketball requires.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. And with a little over a minute gone, the second half is underway. In the corner, it's Morris. Pass to Jackson. Back to Morris. Rose with the rebound.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at him.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
Here's Drummond, following the score by Derrick Rose. Back to Drummond. The Pistons working the ball around now. Dinwiddie kicks to Johnson. That is good.
You know, he didn't need to make the layup complicated. I mean, it's not a trick shot contest, but he decided to go for a little extra flavor on that one.
Now here's Gasol. Looking for his first basket still in this one. And Dunleavy gets it to go in.
The mid-range jumper is a high percentage shot for him, and when he's got that much room, forget about it.
Pass to Dinwiddie. Out to the wing. Wants to get it to Morris and does. And Gasol comes to help. Johnson, that's for two. That's good, and it's Jackson with the assist that time. Jackson's got 3 assists in the game. Well, last season, the Pistons didn't reach the playoffs for the 6th consecutive season. They're making progress, but as we can all see, still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you know, they were spoiled for a while there. How about going to the playoffs for 1996 to 2009? So it's been a rough stretch here of late. But you get the feeling that the building blocks are in place for another push.
And I bet most people forget that the Pistons did make the playoffs for 8 straight years before this current drought. It's been a long rebuild process for them recently, but I think they're making progress and moving in the right direction.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Taj Gibson's checked in for Noah. Mirotic comes in for Dunleavy. And Brooks subbed in for Butler. And a different look here for the Pistons. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Andre Drummond. Ilyasova comes in for Marcus Morris. Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for Johnson. And it's Jody Meeks in for Reggie Jackson. Chicago leading.
And for the Pistons, they seem to have a direction and plan now that just wasn't the case before. It won't be easy to get back into the postseason, but
Here's Dinwiddie. Aaron Brooks picking up that last basket. Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. This is their first chance to take a look at the Bulls.
And you can tell they're just a little out of sync. I think he just wants to get everybody back on the same page.
Yeah, I like this timeout, Greg. I think it's a good one because it looks like they need a minute to talk things through here.
Kirk Heinrich, he's checked in for Derrick Rose. Poked away. Gibson with the steal. And now in transition is Heinrich. Here we go. And Mirotic throws it down.
Well, that's why they're on the lead. Aggressive play at both ends. Very nicely done there.
Absolutely. They make the steal, pay dividends instantly on the fast break.
Here's Dinwiddie. Feeds to Ilyasova. Gibson with the steal.
I like the move to go 2 for 1 here.
So do I, Greg. I mean, I agree with you. They need to get a quick look and then try to get another possession after that.
Now here's Heinrich. He's got 5. Shot clock at 6. The pick gave him all the room he needed, and he knocks down the J. And now an 8-point Chicago lead. The Pistons have gone 5 of 7 from the field in the third quarter. Let's see if they can keep it up. Pass to Ilyasova. A costly foul there. He'll shoot 3 free throws. And Chicago called for the foul. It's going to go on Nikola Mirotic. Pistons have gone a perfect 7 of 7 from the line tonight.
Outstanding foul shooting in this game. And that confidence can be infectious. They're taking care of business on the charity stripe.
And the second free throw, good. And he can't make it. 3 for 3. Deflects the pass. Meeks. No good on the buzzer beater. The third quarter comes to a close. Bulls lead by 6. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports. All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. Fourth quarter should be good. The Bulls leading by 6. And on the floor for Detroit here in the fourth. We've got Jody Meeks, Caldwell Pope out there with Ilyasova. Then there's Reggie Jackson. And it's Baines in at the 5. Outside Butler. Lets it go from deep. Here's Mirotic. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Mirotic has got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Bulls. Over in the corner, Meeks. To the paint. Here's Drummond. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That's on Joakim Noah. And an important part of every team's game. We'll look at the hustle stats for the Bulls.
They really haven't backed away from running and gunning at any point, but their legs still look fresh.
Something else they've done is force a lot of mistakes defensively, and they've been turning those turnovers into points.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Chicago. Then for the Pistons, Marcus Morris is checked in for Ilyasova. And it's Johnson in for Jody Meeks.
They've done their part here to run down a lot of missed shots. A solid rebounding effort.
Yeah, energy has been the difference, and they're fighting for every loose ball and giving as good as they get on the inside.
Butler with the ball, and it's Johnson picking him up. Butler kicks to Brooks. Stolen by Jackson. The pull-up. It's hauled in by the Bulls. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Minnesota, where they'll take on the Timberwolves. That'll be just one game played away from home for them. And Butler, here we go. The offensive rebound. Goes back up. And it's Brooks that time on the assist from Gibson. And it's 7 points for Aaron Brooks. At the elbow, it's Drummond. The rebound by Gibson.
Now, nice work there to contest the finish inside.
You know, they got the shot they wanted, but his defense, deterred them from those plans.
Kicks to Dunleavy. Shot clock at 6. Lets it go with a 3. And the Bulls get it back. Butler dishes to Mirotic. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. Last game for the Bulls, it was a loss to the Nuggets. And Butler, here we go. Dunleavy for 3. Morris with the rebound. Morris has got his 3rd rebound tonight. Over in the corner, Caldwell Pope. Johnson in the corner. Butler with the steal. And now the fast break. Gibson with the ball. Johnson with the block. Gibson passes to Brooks. Butler kicks to Brooks. 6 on the shot clock. That pushes it to double digits. And the Bulls lead by 11.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist number. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Well, over the break, I listened in on Stan Van Gundy's huddle. He's not pleased with the careless turnovers offensively, saying, listen, we've got to get shots. It's as simple as that. We have to play smart and value the basketball. Kevin, did it sink in?
Thanks again, Doris. Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Joakim Noah is checked in for Gibson. Gasol comes in for Mirotic, and it's Rose in for Aaron Brooks.
My goodness, he sure can get off the ground.
One of the best in the business for sure. You're right.
I tell you what, he is an imposing finisher around the rim. He makes it look a little too easy.
Morris dishes to Caldwell Pope, and out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
1:39 left to play here in the fourth. Chicago leading by 11. To the middle. It's tipped. Leaps for it. Over in the corner, Rose gets it to go from beyond the arc.
And it's all one-way traffic tonight, boy. They have been lights out offensively.
And there's no telling how big that lead's going to get. But, again, it's just one game, but nonetheless a very impressive one, the way they've handled their business here.
Here's Drummond. Gasol with the defensive effort.
No question as to which team gave the better effort tonight. A dominant performance and an outstanding win for the Bulls.
The key here, Clark, second chance points.
Well, they pounded the offensive glass, and, Kevin, I also think they won the 50-50 balls, too.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And beyond the actual result of this game, fans are going to look back and see this was just a monstrous performance for Rose. He was doing everything right, and the points came in bunches. Definitely had the hot move.
Shot clock at 5. And it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group. Taj Gibson's checked in for Gasol. Mirotic comes in for Dunleavy. Kirk Heinrich, he's checked in for Butler. And Brooks subbed in for Rose. And a different look here for the Pistons. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Drummond. Ilyasova comes in for Morris. Reggie Bullock, he's checked in for Johnson. And it's Jody Meeks in for Caldwell-Pope. The clock now can just run out for the Bulls. Brooks outside. Oh, he got hacked on the three-pointer. He'll head to the line.
Kirk Heinrich at the line for the Bulls. 3 shots.
That one is off. That one is no good. He finally knocks one down. Here's Dinwiddie. Missed. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. This game may not have...
De respuestas con el manojo lleno y vengo como un libro abierto, ansiosa de aprender la historia no contada de nuestros ancestros, con el viento que dejaron los abuelos y que vive en cada pensamiento de esta amada tierra. Quien sabe cuidarlo es quien de verdad la quiera. Vengo para mirar de nuevo, para ver lo cierto y despertar el ojo ciego, sin miedo, tú y yo. Descolonicemos lo que nos enseñaron con nuestro pelo negro, con pómulos marcados, con el orgullo indio en el alma tatuado. Vengo con la mirada, vengo con la palabra, esa palabra hablada. Vengo sin temor a no perder nada. Vengo como el niño que busca de su morada, la entrada al origen, la vuelta de su cruzada. Vengo a buscar la historia silenciada, la historia de una tierra saqueada. Vengo con el mundo y vengo con los pájaros, vengo con las flores y los árboles, sus cantos. Vengo con el cielo y sus constelaciones, vengo con el mundo y todas sus estaciones. Vengo agradecida, el punto de partida. Vengo con la madera, la montaña y la vida. Vengo con el aire, el agua, la tierra y el fuego. Vengo a mirar el mundo de nuevo. Vengo con mis ideas como escudo, con el sentir humano, a vivir este mundo donde el hombre nuevo busca el contrapunto. Vengo humano, vengo como tú, en busca de la huella, de la pieza del árbol y de su corteza, que guarda en su memoria que el canto de victoria cuando vimos de la tierra lloramos con tal euforia. Y abrimos así nuestros brazos tan encadilados y nos acurrucamos al origen de los tiempos, a la fuente del universo donde yace el sentimiento de vivir este comienzo. Vengo con la sangre roja, con los pulmones llenos de rimas en mi boca, con los ojos rasgados, con la tierra en las manos. Venimos con el mundo y venimos con su canto. Vengo a construir un sueño, el brillo de la vida que habita en el hombre nuevo. Vengo buscando un ideal y un mundo sin clase que se pueda levantar. Vengo con el mundo y vengo con los pájaros, vengo con las flores y los árboles, sus cantos. Vengo con el cielo y sus constelaciones, vengo con el mundo y todas sus estaciones. Vengo agradecida, el punto de partida. Vengo con la madera, la montaña y la vida. Vengo con el aire, el agua, la tierra y el fuego. Vengo a mirar el mundo de nuevo. Vengo a mirar el mundo de nuevo. Vengo en busca de respuestas con el manojo lleno. Vengo buscando un ideal de un mundo sin clase que se pueda levantar. Vengo con nuestro pelo negro, con pómulos marcados, con el orgullo indio en el alma tatuado. Vengo.
This is it. Opening day, the regular season is set to begin, and we're thrilled to bring you all the live action right here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. The Detroit Pistons preparing to defend home court in this Eastern Conference battle. Here, matched up against Cleveland, is how they'll kick off the new season. They could only manage a single win in 4 tries against these guys last year. And look at the starters for the Cavaliers. Filling out the wings, it's Shumpert and LeBron. Down low, it's Love and Mozgov. And it's Irving at the point guard position. LeBron outside. Down low, here's Mozgov.
Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
Cleveland with a very strong year last year. They were a very solid team on the road, as most LeBron-led teams are. Clark.
Yeah, he's a special guy in terms of how he can elevate other players. Didn't start out hot on the road, but eventually got it together and ended up 22-19 away from home.
And back to the Cavs and their road play. Teams with a lot of new players coming in can struggle early. It's especially evident when playing on the road.
You talk about being streaky on the road. That's what the Cavs were. I mean, could rattle off 4 wins on the road in a row, then come back empty from their next road trip. They did seem, though, to get stronger and more steady as the season went on.
And it's James missing. And here we go. And it's Johnson with the jam.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
Now here's Shumpert. Mozgov a screen on Jennings. Here's Love. And he dunks it down.
And guys, that's one of the more basic plays in anybody's playbook, but not to mention also truly one of the best.
And Greg, the pick frees him up, and Clark, the dunk, caps it off.
Well, you know, for me, guys, it's all about positioning and anticipation on those screen plays, and they got it right there.
Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
Johnson, that's for 2. And Ilyasova kicks to Drummond. Drummond with a screen on Shumpert. Caldwell Pope wishes to Drummond. Score the basket, his second. Of 2 attempts.
Well, I tell you what, the post play has been rock solid right off the bat.
It really has, and they've created a lot of high percentage shots in the paint here already.
And it's good. Irving's got his second bucket of the game to go.
And that assist got him a little nod from his teammate after that one.
Here's Drummond. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That one on Mozgov. Just a bit of an up and down year for the Pistons last season. Had some long winning streaks and some long losing streaks for first-year head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Kevin, some would say it was addition by subtraction because they really went on that big run after they released Josh Smith. 7 straight wins for them at one point, and they also did have some giant lows.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Ilyasova. Marcus Morris comes in for Johnson. Jody Meeks, he's checked in for Caldwell Pope. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Brandon Jennings. Morris kicks to Baines. Shot clock at 5. Meeks with it. Now guarded by Shumpert. Shots good by Baines.
And, you know, those giant lulls were a big part of the Pistons' season. I mean, their biggest losing streak was 13 straight losses, and a lot of that you attribute to their defense.
Irving for 3. Some solid defense there from Jackson. And there's the call on James. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul.
We've got 1:08 left to play in the first quarter. Jackson again. It's Irving. Drummond sets the screen for Jackson. Drummond passes to Jackson. Out to Morris. From deep. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1. with that shot.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
And the Pistons also went into a slump after they traded for Reggie Jackson. 1-9 after the trade deadline. They would end the season on a better note, but truly they were streaky last season. The defense not putting up any fight on the inside. They've allowed 10 straight points in the paint.
That's not the kind of streak you want to be part of defensively. Tighten it up, fellas.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Irving for three. Kept alive. And the pass to Shumpert. Outside Irving. And the foul called on Marcus Morris. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul.
Here's James. Tries again. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, his offense is going to be there for him.
The Cavaliers shooting their first foul shot of the game.
And they were 75% from the line a season ago.
Got it up. The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Cleveland ahead. Up. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Cavaliers.
You know, guys, we've really seen them do a lot of damage in the paint so far.
And also like the attack off the bounce. I mean, they're taking the initiative here in terms of getting into the lane and forcing the defense to collapse.
Jennings and Caldwell Pope in the backcourt. Johnson is out there with Ilyasova. And it's Baines in at the 5 roaming the paint. They're the group Detroit will start the second with.
And listen, Cleveland were the favorites to win the Central Division last season. High expectations given they finished 3rd in the Central in 2014. But that's just what adding LeBron can do for a team.
Now Johnson. After Amon Shumpert missed from long range. And that one's good. Caldwell Pope's got the first points up on the board here in the second quarter for Detroit. James dishes to Mozgov. Howard down after the assist. Let him into the lane.
How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
And I'm not sure if it was text or email, but he definitely threw that one down.
Now here's Ilyasova. Jennings kicks to Baines. 6 on the shot clock. They set the pick to the middle. That's good, and it's Johnson with the assist. Baines has got his second basket of the game.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should continue to work the ball down low, Clark. It's really going to free up their outside shooting.
And here's Jennings, the fast break opportunity. Johnson can't hit.
No one to blame on that one but himself. You get looks like that, you've got to take advantage.
And James gets it to go.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Outside Jennings. Baines inside. Mozgov covering. The game now all time. Johnson's got 5.
Well, we know prior to last season, the Pistons handed the car keys over to Stan Van Gundy. He had some early hiccups, but overall, I think they're headed in the right direction. He's a proven winning coach in the NBA.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers. Well, with Coach Stan Van Gundy, it was a very successful first year in Detroit. He's a guy who's going to build around defense. That's been his MO.
And Van Gundy has always been a defensive first type guy, Kevin. I mean, the last 30 years, he's has probably the best defensive efficiency for a career as a coach. And his teams always play with great emphasis on that side of the ball.
Different look here for Detroit. Drummond checked in for Aaron Baines. Morris comes in for Ilyasova. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Brandon Jennings. And a switch here also for Cleveland. Smith has checked in. Kicks it to Irving. Rebound by the Pistons.
Now that's terrific defense at the rim. Got right in his path.
And you know they'll be conscious of him next time they take it inside, too. I mean, that's what really good defenders do. They make you think about their presence.
Second quarter of play with almost 3 minutes gone. And there's the feed to Morris. And stolen by James.
Great reflexes to get a hand on that pass and go the other way with it. Yeah, the Pistons ended last season with a record of 32-50. They played decently enough against the rest of the East and had 23 of their 32 wins against the Eastern Conference.
Here's LeBron after the made shot from Andre Drummond. And stolen by Drummond. On up the court. The basket counts and one. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it a three-point play.
It seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run. And the Pistons were a better team last season than they were in 2014. I mean, they still ended up bottom in the Central Division, but most of it was because of how strong the Central really was last season.
Greg, as you said, the Pistons were last in the Central Division last year. They had finished fourth each of the last 4 years before that, Clark.
And, you know, the Pistons actually had more wins last year coming in last than they did in any of the 4 seasons they finished fourth. I mean, just shows you how tough and improved the Central Division was last year.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here.
Yeah, I think he just sees some things that can be improved and wants to get everybody back on the same page.
And usually that, to me, is a good use of the timeout. I mean, if there's something that he's noticed that can give his team a lift, I think he's got to try to take advantage of that.
And one problem with the Cavs last season was they put immediate pressure on themselves. A part of that was the trade for Kevin Love.
Tolliver. He's checked in for Detroit. Jody Meeks comes in for Caldwell Pope. And a little under 3.5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter of play. As you said, the Cavs put a lot of pressure on themselves because of the trade. You could see it affect the way they came out of the gate, Clark.
And, you know, it was just night and day, Kevin, when the Cavs began to relax and click. I mean, a total transformation and turnaround. They would go 19-20 in the first 39 games, and then 34-9 over the rest of the season once those guys gelled and got locked in.
Now, one spot the Cavs did struggle with last year was help off the bench. They were last in the league in bench scoring.
Love's check in for J.R. Smith. Cavs not scoring with a lot of their bench. A big part of that is they just didn't go to their bench very often.
Well, you talk about the Cavs and the bench near the bottom in total bench minutes played. The bench didn't have a lot of firepower, didn't shoot the ball well, and considering they got limited minutes, oftentimes struggled to find any kind of rhythm out there.
The dish to Meeks. Inside. Got a piece of it. Tolliver. Shumpert with some nice D.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over him.
Passes to Johnson. Irving against Drummond. Right wing. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Meeks. Off the left rim and out. And here we go. Shumpert running it up the court.
And I love the fact that he didn't try to take on the defense by himself. Great pass on the move.
5 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. The three from Johnson. No good trying to beat the Bucks. And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. Cavaliers lead by 2. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Detroit Pistons.
And we welcome you back to start the quarter. Players had a chance to get hydrated with Gatorade. And there's certain to be some great basketball ahead for us. What can you say? LeBron James, what an impressive effort today.
And in terms of points in that first half, you know, he's now at a point where we expect him to perform that way.
And, Greg, that tells you all you need to know about what a talent he is. I mean, I'll bet he adds a lot more to his totals after the break.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. What can you say? LeBron James, what an impressive effort today.
And really, all of a sudden, he's becoming their best distributor, doing a great job of orchestrating their offense.
Greg, typically that's not the role he usually plays, and I'm not sure how comfortable he is in it, but they've needed him to make some plays today, and he's been able to do it to his credit.
Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. So on the floor for Cleveland, LeBron and Love are the talented pair at the forward position. Irving is out there with Iman Shumpert, and it's Mozgov in at the pivot spot manning the middle.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Now Jennings following the three-point attempt by Kevin Love. Johnson can't hit.
And guys, the first year for David Blatt, he was second-guessed at every turn. And that happens when you are picked to make the finals, but also when you coach LeBron James.
Here is Jennings after the made shot from Iman Shumpert. Dishes it to Ilyasova. Shot clock at 6. Caldwell Pope kicks to Ilyasova. That shot by Caldwell Pope, no good.
You know what? His finishing ability, not really at the level that you would expect from a pro, but he's going to have to start playing with more force.
The Cavaliers have gone 3 for 3 at the line tonight. Fans had a hard time finding their way to the stadium last season for the Pistons at the bottom in several home attendance categories last year.
Yeah, that's right in Auburn Hills. I mean, they used to go a lot when they were winning championships. But to be fair to those fans, it was hard at times to watch the Pistons play. I mean, they could get cold and really struggle on their home floor.
And Ilyasova throws it down.
Look for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
Man, I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
And there's Shumpert. That's good on the assist by LeBron. LeBron's got 5 assists in the game.
And for the Pistons, a lot of their woes here at home were due to defense. I mean, their 18-23 home record comes from allowing too many.
Oh! Wow, and that sort of showmanship is just deflating right now to a team trying Clark to get back into this game like this.
Yeah, definitely a jam with emphasis. A big apostrophe or exclamation point. How about maybe even a question mark, partner?
Yeah, I would have to say there are a lot of questions right now from a defensive standpoint. That's for sure.
And here we Fast break. James has got it.
Now that was pretty. That was just a nice looking reverse jam right there.
Use the rim, Clark, to protect the ball, I think, too, a little bit.
Yeah, did a nice job with it.
And guys, how about the awareness there with that finish in traffic?
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. Look at LeBron James. He's really been playing well.
He's really taking it to him inside. They got to find a way to slow him down.
So Detroit going with an almost entire new group here. Drummond's checked in for Aaron Baines. Johnson comes in for Ilyasova. Steve Blake's checked in for Caldwell Pope. And it's Jackson in for Brandon Jennings. Anderson Varejau's checked in for Cleveland. Smith comes in for Shumpert. Here's Drummond. The shot misses. So Cleveland will take it the other way.
That's his first personal foul. Second team foul.
Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. Smith kicks to Irving.
This shot's just, it's not there right now. With this team leading, perhaps, let's focus on some other areas of the game. And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
Old school D right there, just telling them no easy layups. It's as simple as that. And that's what you expect from them.
He hits the second from the line. Pistons trailed by 8. Blake kicks to Johnson. It's deflected. And stolen by Kyrie Irving. And the dunk by LeBron.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
Morris a screen. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Basket is good. The assist from Johnson. Morris has got 5 points so far.
So far, going for more of an inside game here in the second half, and I like that. A little smash mouth basketball, taking it inside. Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim.
To the paint. Deflects the pass. And stolen by Love. And here we go. Fast break. James has got it. And J.R. Smith with the slam.
Boy, he's just dangling from the rim after sending it through there.
You can see which team now has the swagger, Clark, right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's with them.
And guys, that swagger can backfire because you don't want to get your opponent a little too riled up.
And here at the
Alarms go off when I enter the building.
The fourth quarter just moments away now as we welcome you back. The Cavaliers leading by 10. Jennings and Meeks in the backcourt. Aaron Baines out there with Ilyasova. And it's Caldwell Pope in at the 3 slot. That's the 5 on the floor for the Pistons.
Boy, guys, they've shown some great passing on their last few trips down the floor. Excellent.
4 straight passes leading to scores. Great team play.
Here's Irving. In it goes for the 5th time and 10 shots for him this game. And look at how the hustle game has been going for the Cavaliers.
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
Yeah, and the other thing they've done since the beginning of this game is score points off turnovers and in bunches.
Just 5 to shoot. Meeks can't hit. Right side jumper. Good, and the assist goes to James. James has got 9 assists in the game. Great passing.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
10 straight points off assists. That's very impressive, and it also makes the game easy and fun to watch.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
Clearly, he's not pleased with all the looks they've given up on the inside, and also to get them to tighten up that defense.
Yeah, and I think he's going to let them know about it. I mean, they're playing some soft interior defense, and you can't win that way. That's a recipe for disaster if you're not going to play with some physicality inside.
Tristan Thompson, he's checked in for the Cavaliers. Jennings passes to Ilyasova. Meeks outside. Pistons keep it alive. Here's Baines. And the shot is long. Outside jumper. From the baseline. And Baines pulls it down. Baines has got his third rebound tonight. And there's a whistle that goes on him on Shumpert. That is his first foul of the game.
That's his first personal foul.
And we've made our way through just over a minute and a half in this fourth quarter. Left block shot on the way. And that one comes up a bit short. And it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. And the dunk by James.
They've hardly needed anyone else today to get out to this lead. I mean, he's provided almost all of their offense.
Jennings kicks to Caldwell-Pope. Will it go? And Irving pulls it down.
And listen, sometimes even the best of us are going to miss the easiest of opportunities.
And it's Meeks with the rebound.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
And there's the call on James. That's his third foul of the game.
Man, it's close, but, you know, didn't get on balance quick enough.
Yeah, and as quick as players are at this level, in this day and age, I mean, you've got to be perfect in your anticipation to draw the charge.
The Pistons making a change here. Drummond's checked in. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, they come in off the loss to the 76ers in Philadelphia.
Really not hard to see why they're giving up points on this run. I mean, they've just given them too many looks inside.
Yeah, and usually when a team goes on a run like this, it's because they are getting too many opportunities on the inside. Make them beat you from deep.
Here's LeBron. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two. The first one falls. A different look here for Detroit. Johnson comes in for Meeks. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Brandon Jennings. And Cleveland with a change here, too. Love's checked in for Thompson.
Well, it seems like this is something we've said quite a bit the last few years, but now we really feel like we're in a golden age for point guards. So many point guards on so many teams are the leaders and best players on their teams. You can name a dozen all-star level point guards in the league right now.
Love draws the double. And here's James outside. It's hauled in by Ilyasova.
You can't get in a much better position for the three than that. Everything was right on target. It just didn't fall.
Oh, look, league business clearly doing well. Franchises, values are skyrocketing, and a new TV deal kicking in next season as well. It represents the largest expansion of league revenues in history.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Ilyasova. Morris comes in for Johnson. And it's Jody Meeks in for Caldwell-Pope. Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. And the NBA's TV deal paying about 3 times as much per year as the previous deal.
And it's changing the math as far as the salary cap and contract negotiations go. For the fans out there, don't get sticker shock. The players expect to share in these revenues.
Cavaliers making a switch here. Thompson's checked in. tipped away. And so the ball's out of bounds. Shumpert touched it last.
You know what? A low percentage pass on that one, but sometimes it's worth the risk.
Well, that time the risk did not pay off because it was well defended.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. They trail by 20. 1:35 left to play here in the fourth. .135 left in the fourth quarter. A three from Morris. Detroit, no good that time either.
You know, they're not totally dominating the glass, but they're definitely doing enough to keep this lead right where it is.
Yeah, but they've separated themselves, Clark, in a number of categories. Rebounds just being one of them.
Shumpert. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. Shumpert's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Cavaliers.
You know, a team can have a great shooting night without getting a lot of assists, but tonight, Clark, they had both.
They sure did. I mean, the ball was moving and guys were knocking down shots.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And you have to look back at this and see the huge game it was for LeBron James. And the way he was able to dice up their D with his passing really made things easy for everyone else on his team.
He kicks to Mozgov. The shot no good. And it's Detroit the other way. Drummond dishes to Meeks. The shot from 20 feet away.
Ill-advised shot there, Clark.
Yeah, exactly. That was lower than low percentage.
You know, fought hard from start to finish on that play. Defended the shot and then finished it off with the rebound.
Count the bucket.
That's the kind of D that you're not going to find success with, guys. They've got to get a hand in the face.
This one for three. Oh, he got hacked on the three-pointer. He'll head to the line. Marcus Morris picks one up there.
Yeah, you hate to give up a foul on a three-point attempt.
Yeah, unnecessary. I mean, make them earn those points from deep. Don't give them to them free at the line.
Good on the second free throw. And he makes all three. The drive by Jackson. Tolliver the pass to Jackson. Wing shot on the way. And that misses badly. Air ball. Irving kicks to LeBron. Here's Shumpert. Good, and the assist goes to James.
And really no better feeling than to go on the road and play this well and get the win.
Yeah, it's always a good win when you play the kind of game they have played tonight. I mean, especially, though, when you get it done on the road. That's a special, special feeling there.
So we see the Cavaliers taking the win here. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
That concludes the first game of the NBA season. This is Kevin Harlan saying thank you for watching. Now time to head over to the studio where the award-winning Ernie Johnson is with Shaq and Kenny, all standing by. Guys, take it away.
And they stay there.